They are sisters and brothers in Christ. Today's message that many people misunderstand the verse that says, "Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds." James 2:18. This passage is not saying that a born-again believer must constantly prove their faith. It's not a call to measure ourselves or to justify our spirituality before others. James is not teaching a religious system based on performance. Rather, he reveals a spiritual reality. Living faith naturally produces fruit that becomes visible in a person's life. The focus is not to prove yourself, but rather to examine whether faith is truly alive. Where Christ truly lives within someone, change doesn't come through human effort, but through inner transformation. Many people, however, understand this in reverse. They hear the verse and think, "Then I must do something to prove my faith." This is how they fall into the cycle of works, religious striving, where a person constantly tries to perform, to achieve, and to be good enough. But the old human nature is not capable of producing the fruit of the Spirit. At best, it can only imitate it. Outward religion may appear, but without true life. That is why the prophet says, "All our righteous acts are like filthy rags." Isaiah 64:5. Human righteousness cannot stand before God. Salvation is not based on our works, but on grace through faith in Christ. Works don't create faith. Faith produces works. When someone is born again, they do not begin to live differently because they decide to become a better person, but because God's life begins to work within them. Fruit is not born from striving, but from relationship. A tree doesn't struggle to bear fruit, it bears fruit because it's alive. This is the difference between a religious person and a believer with living faith. The religious person tries to improve themselves. The believer abides in Christ. The religious person shows their works. In the believer's life, God's work becomes visible. Therefore, don't place your deeds on a scale as though your salvation depended on them. The foundation of salvation is not what you do, but what Christ has already finished. The real question is not, "Have I done enough good?" but this, "Am I truly living in Christ?" Where genuine faith exists, works don't come from pressure, but appear naturally as signs of life. Don't look at yourself, look at Christ, because where He is the center, faith doesn't try to prove itself. It simply lives. Thanks a lot, my friends. Have a nice day.